Exponential growth and decay compounded other than annually, because we can compound interest quarterly, monthly, um, semi-annually, and so your formula kind of changes a little bit. The formula we learned in the last problem was the answer equals the principal, 1 plus or minus the rate to the t. And it's the same formula, but what we're going to add is one more variable for compounding. Usually they give you this formula in the problem. Is principal times 1 plus or minus r divided by n raised to the n times t. And we know that r is our rate divided by, and we get the rate from the percentage divided by 100. T is time, principal is interest. The n is basically the number of times it's being compounded in a year. So first, let's do the problem. The Tim invests 1,200, that's your principal, into an account with an interest rate of 5%. We're going to divide that by 100 to get the rate. How much is it worth in 3 years? That's our time. If it's compounded quarterly. Now, quarterly means 4 times a year, so n equals 4. So our answer equals our principal, 1,200, 1. Let's see, we're in a savings account, so we're gaining interest, so it's growth, so 1 plus. Now 5% as a rate is 0.05, and we're going to divide that by 4, because we're compounded quarterly. And our time is 3 years, and we're going to multiply that also by 4, because we're talking about quarterly. And so our calculator is going to do most of the work for us. I can simplify this a little bit. I'm going to do the 0.05 divided by 4 in my calculator. I'm just going to change the exponent to 12. So my calculator over here, let me clear out some old work, and I'm going to type in first 0.05 divided by 4 is 0.0125, and then I'm adding that by the 1 that's in front of it. And I'm raising this to the 12th power. And lastly, and the last thing we always do is multiply by the principal, 1,200, and we get 1392.91. So 1392 what was it, 91? 0.91, right, because we're talking about money, so we're rounding to nearest hundredths. Now, say we wanted to compound monthly. There's 12 months in a year, so that means you're compounding 12 times, so n equals 12. So that changes your problem a little bit to your principal, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12 times 3 times to the 12th. And so you'd have to do 0.05 divided by 12 plus 1 and raise that to the 36th, and then times 12,000. So I'll type that in all real quick. Let's see, we had 0.05 divided by the 12 months plus the 1 raised to the 36th power times the 1,200 to start is 1393.77. So you see that the two numbers really aren't that differently, but they are slightly different because your interest is compounded at a different interval.